Imagine a place where the fight for freedom was met with fire hoses and billy clubs, where children marched for justice, where a single bus seat or crossing a bridge could shake a nation's conscience. Alabama wasn't just a backdrop for history. It was the battlefield where the modern civil rights revolution took hold. From the streets of Montgomery to the churches of Birmingham, from the dusty roads of Selma to the halls of Washington, Black Americans rose in defiance of systemic oppression, demanding to be seen, heard, and counted. It began with a simple act of resistance. A woman refused to give up her seat on a segregated bus. That moment ignited the Montgomery Bus Boycott, a 13-month protest that rattled the foundations of Jim Crow segregation and forced the courts to declare bus segregation unconstitutional. But Alabama's story didn't end there. In Birmingham, the campaign exploded. Peaceful sit-ins, mass demonstrations, children leaving their schools to march so their voices could echo louder than the roar of fire hoses. The Children's Crusade of 1963 put innocent faces in the line of aggression and cruel response. Meanwhile, in Selma, a group of unarmed protesters attempted to walk across a bridge toward justice, only to be met with brutal violence on what became known as Bloody Sunday. The images stunned the nation. Undeterred, organizers regrouped, and weeks later, thousands marched 54 miles from Selma to the state capitol at Montgomery in a monumental demonstration of solidarity and hope. When the march reached the Capitol steps, it wasn't just a physical arrival, it was victory for human dignity, for equality, for the right to vote. That march helped fuel the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, a law that would reshape democracy itself. Alabama's role wasn't peripheral, it was front and center. The churches turned meeting halls, the quiet neighborhoods that suddenly roared with protest, the youth willing to face dogs and fire hoses, the ordinary people who risked jobs, homes, even lives. Their courage carved a path toward a fairer America. Their story isn't often the one told, overshadowed by broad national narratives, but without their sacrifice, without the grit born in Alabama's streets, the civil rights movement might have looked very different. So today, as we revisit those dusty roads, that battered bridge, those packed church pews, and the determined faces of protesters, we remember this is the untold real story of Alabama's pain, its resolve, and ultimately, its triumph. If you believe in justice, in truth, in remembering the voices of the past, hit subscribe and join me on this journey through history. Because some stories deserve to echo forever.